Welcome to Just a Minute on Eastern Sierra Now. I'm Jesse Steele. Here's how it works. Every candidate gets the same 10 questions and exactly 1 minute to answer each. When the clock hits 0, we move on. It's fast, it's fair, and it's all about giving you a clear picture of the people asking for your vote. Make sure to subscribe to Eastern Sierra Now on YouTube and follow us on all platforms to stay informed on everything happening in our community. Let's get into it. Scott Marcellin is serving as the District 3 Supervisor in Inyo County and is seeking a second term in order to continue work on several ongoing projects initiated during his first term. During his tenure, he traveled to Sacramento and Washington, D.C. to advocate on behalf of District 3 and the broader Inyo County community. These visits focused on representing constituent interests and securing support for local needs. Marcellin emphasizes collaboration with District 3's diverse communities and stakeholders to continue working on all projects on behalf of his residents. Welcome, Supervisor Marcellin.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thanks for being here. Okay, you ready to get to the first question?
You bet.
All right. Why did you choose to run for county supervisor at this point in your life?
Well, first, I'd like to thank everyone for their support for my first term. And I'm running because I have a heart to serve the people of Inyo County and District 3. And you touched on it. It is a very diverse group of people, and I want to serve everyone in our district. And with that, there are many issues that need to be addressed throughout Inyo County and through my district. And I want to continue to work on all of the projects and all of the issues that we face in our district and throughout Inyo County.
Okay, so next question. What experiences in your background have best prepared you to serve the people of Inyo County?
Well, I served on the Bishop Fire Department for 40 years, and of that 40, 6 of it I was a commissioner, and I always wanted to make sure that during that 6 years that those volunteers had the right equipment, the safety equipment that they needed to make sure that they all came home safely. I was a swim team board member when they started, that they didn't have any money, and I set up a checks and balances system, and when I left there, they had $68,000 in the bank and $28,000 in their working capital, and made sure that they had what they needed, and they were flush with their vendors, and the city was good with them. And I've been working hard to make sure that everybody in my district has what they need and answer to them.
Let's get to the next question. What do you see as the most important challenge facing Inyo County right now?
I would say H.R. 1, the big, beautiful bill. Inyo County's facing some major challenges in HHS, our Health and Human Services Department. We're going to have a shortfall coming in 26, 27, and 27 and 28. The federal government is going to short the state of California $6.6 billion in 26, 27, and $9 billion in 27 and 28. So the counties are all asking for 1.9 million in 26, 27 and 4.6 million in 27 and 28 to make up the shortfall. And as you know, right now the projection for the state is like 37 billion in the red for that year. So, or for 26, 27. So it's going to be a big ask to make up these shortfalls. And that doesn't even make up for our Medicare, Medicaid, our hospital shortages, and what our county services shortages are going to be. Those are in the hundreds of millions of dollars.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. How can a county supervisor best serve a rural and geographically large community like ours?
Well, going to Sacramento and going to Washington, D.C. Senator Lee's land sales for federal land sales is going to come back, and advocating for our constituents to have that land sales, federal land sales, so it is placed around our communities instead of on top of mountaintops. So we can use that land. So it's tied to our existing water systems and wastewater systems. And then NEPA reform. Make it so it's somewhat close to what our California CEQA reform is. And then we have like our floodplain area in Lone Pine that was blown up. I worked on a earmark in 24. We got $7 million, and we're going to draw on that this year for $1.25 million.
Okay, next question. What does good leadership look like to you in county government?
You need to be able to communicate with your administration, your department heads, your electeds, your appointeds. You need to be strong, but you have to have an open mind. You need to be able to listen, not always talk. You have to build relationships with all of your community partners. It's building relationships with your constituents and know what your constituents are talking about, and have an open mind and listen to what they have to say and not go in with a preconceived idea, because we are sitting in a seat that is a nonpartisan seat, and you need to vote according to what is what's best for your constituency.
Okay, let's get on to the next question. What qualities make someone an effective county supervisor beyond experience?
Being committed to your community, willing to be available to everyone, respond to all your calls and emails, listen to your constituents, and do your best to resolve all the issues at hand, even if your answers may not be what they want to hear. But remember, it's not about you, but it's about getting your name. It's not about getting your name on everything, but it's about getting work done. It's about helping everybody and advancing projects and advancing everything that needs to help the people of Inyo County.
Okay, excellent answer. Let's move on to the next question. How do you ensure your decisions reflect the needs of the entire community?
Well, I belong to 2 service organizations, and I go to a lot of community meetings. But I find that the best place is I'm still involved in a workforce. You know, I own my own business and I'm getting ready to get out. But when you're out in the workforce and you're out there countywide, you're not just stuck with a group of 10 or whatever constituents and you're hearing just from one group. You're hearing from a diverse group of constituents. So therefore, you're hearing about everything that's going on, from, man, I don't make enough money, or housing, or man, the rents are getting too high, or I can't afford to buy a house, so there's not enough land, or hey, you know, I'm glad I get to use DWP's land or whatever for recreation. But
can you describe a difficult decision you faced and what you learned from it?
Yeah, we just completed a comp and class study, and where it wasn't popular because it was a study that encompassed the entire county. It became apparent that it missed some people in the study, and we had to work hard to make it work. And then, now that we're down to the classification side of the study, it all came out during budget time last year, and it hit during the budget hearing. And so I asked that we stop and slow that process down, because I wanted the classifications to come in at a certain time. So they slowed it down. So what I learned is, don't violate trust. Let's make sure that we do our we do our due diligence, so we make sure that our departments are right.
How would you approach managing county resources and budgets while still delivering essential services?
Well, we brought transparency back to the budget. We do budget hearings. The budget is now online. We have a program where you can see summaries. You have every department is on there now, and you have a sub-department. You can see where all the income is, all the expenses are for each sub-department. We worked hard to get this done, to bring transparency for all of our constituents. We now can prioritize during the budget hearing what projects that are going to move forward or not move forward. Mm-hmm. And so we get the department heads to come in now, and they can lobby for positions that need to be done or not. We can not bring them forward and say no.
How would you keep residents informed and engaged with decisions that affect their daily lives?
Well, I fell short during my first term. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to say it, I got hacked and I didn't use social media. Mm-hmm. And so I turned it off. And so now it's back on, and I'm going to use Facebook and Instagram to start putting stuff out there and things that I've worked on and things that I've done. And if I need to, I will start doing town halls. But town halls, I need to make sure that people are going to show up, because, that's when I have staff show up, that's taxpayer dollars that are being spent. So I need to make sure that I'm not spending taxpayer dollars for nobody showing or one person showing. So it's something that I want to make sure that I'm not wasting taxpayer dollars. But I will use social media to make sure that people are finding out what's going on.
Excellent. Okay, so at this point, we'd like to give you the option to speak to the voters directly and just give a little bit about your campaign and maybe how they can reach out.
All right. Well, thank you, Jesse, for having me. I really appreciate the time that we spent together. You can reach me at my Inyo County at the Inyo County website. It's Scott Marcellin at inyocounty.us. My phone number is on the website, or it's 760-878-8791. Or you can reach me at Scott Marcellin at Facebook or Scott Marcellin at Instagram. And really appreciate everything that everyone's supported me so far, and I will hope to be there for another 4 years so I can continue on working on the projects that I've been working on with all the 15 committees that we sit on, and or whether or not we're active or we're the alternates. But you still have to do all the studying. You have to be prepared. So I just want to thank everyone.
Okay, thank you so much for being on the show.
You bet.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining us on Just a Minute at Eastern Sierra Now. Our goal is to keep you informed, engaged, and connected to what matters most in our community. If you found this helpful, subscribe on YouTube and follow us across all platforms so you never miss an update. And remember, local elections matter. Be informed and be sure to vote. We'll see you next time.